I've hit the update button like 20 times. Hopefully it sticks. We'll see how everything goes with this scenario here, but we're going to be doing a goose green PvP commentary within OFCRA. Looking at about 120 players on tonight. That looks good. And this is our AO. The reason we're seeing some symbolism is because they don't have spectator slots. They have only reserve slots, so I've stuck myself in OP4, and I gotta kill myself immediately when the mission begins to get access to that spectator interface. But as you can see, we've got 3 minefields marked. We've got this one position up here marked, and then a few purple zones. Let me go ahead and get our prediction going up here. I believe OP4 is Argentina, and Blue 4 is the British. Let me just fact check that real quick. Let's see. British Army versus Argentina Army, Blue 4 to Op 4. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set that. Let's do 20 minutes. Why is the stream starting at -10 seconds? Bro, I don't know. I don't know how internet latency works with my channel half the damn time. Who knows? But anyway, here are the points here. So, common objectives are as follows. Whoever has the red zone at the end is going to gain 5 points. That is cashed out at the end of the game, which is the 90-minute round. Then we have 2 purple zones, each worth 3 points. That is East Darwin and West Darwin Hill over at these positions here. So whoever has control of those positions by the 65-minute mark will gain 3 points per zone. So 3 points, 3 points, and that airfield's 5 points cashed in at the end of the game, as I said. Now, Blue 4 have an additional objectives of finding 2 ZU-23s and destroying them. I don't know why it says 1 point each, max 3. Because it says both. So maybe they get a bonus point if they get both as well, because that... Oh no, and 35mm. Okay, gotcha. So there's 2 ZU-23s and then 1 35mm AA piece. And all 3 of those are worth 1 point apiece, and they have to be destroyed by the 35-minute marker, and then you have to keep your side leader alive. That is worth 2 points. So that's for both players, and that's cashed in at the 75-minute mark. Interesting. All right, otherwise, British forces spawning on the south, Argentinian forces spawning on the north. I don't think there's going to be anything spawning anywhere else, but that is pretty much the game. We see that Op4 has already marked all of their stuff right here and are going to be setting up defensive lines accordingly. We'll see if they overwatch any of their minefields, but that's going to force the fighting to be mainly in this zone, and you see them just marking up everything. Alright, nonetheless, I mean, it's going to be a very mountainous terrain to fight with till it starts plateauing out, but we still got some pretty nice mountain ranges on the top. But overall, as we look at Op4's plan, Op4 mainly going to be on the defensive here, so we'll just have to see how things go with that. Yeah, right, VGR, do what you need to. Who's the first one that will get lightning striked? You'll have to wait till POG, but then again, I'm not sure if I have anything to actually strike people down with, but I added some new stuff to the roster. I still gotta add more, but we'll get there when we get there. Yeah, get there. Alright. Either way, I mean, we've seen Malden 2035 run multiple times. We see that the minefield distinctively cuts out just before the MSR, so British, usually there's 2 ways they can go about assaulting from the south to north. There's 2 different MSRs to work with, and then there's this massive mountain terrain that they could try to scale with some of their vehicles. That would be a little difficult, but allow them to get on the flat plateau and then to get up to that mountain and overwatch as they bound forward with everything here. But again, their end goals are to basically get on this little ridge here and that mountaintop. So I doubt we're going to see Blue 4 doing a direct assault to then assault into the high ground. That's going to be nearly suicidal. The only way you would win a low to high ground assault is if you have a massive number advantage and artillery on your side. I don't think Blue 4 has that, but let me go ahead and look at the assets in play here for you guys. Looks like it is all infantry from what I can see here. Op4 have 2 trucks and a fuel truck. Blue 4 have 2 Pinsgars and a third, which is a higher model. I'm going to look into that real quick. Yeah, okay, so these are just light transport trucks. So it's, again, mainly going to be infantry. We'll probably see a little bit of ferrying of the infantry around, but without that, I mean, it's just going to be a lot of infantry scaling for this 90-minute round. Oh, if they all spawn there, then we're probably going to see forces immediately go up to these plateaus. I don't think we'll see any utilization of the MSRs here. I mean, we do have this bottleneck right here because of the minefields. We got this other position right here. Blue 4 could really come in from anywhere else. So the blue marks are actually Op4's marks. Sorry for the confusion there. That's just how they're marking stuff. But it looks like they're just trying to set up defense lines and adjust things accordingly from here. So yeah, they're being instructed to take E-tools as well. That's funny. And then the AA positions are marked here. There has to be some sort of British force in the back line. Because if those AA positions are in the back right there, and Blue 4 only has 35 minutes to hit them, how does Blue 4 get there to hit them in 35 minutes? You know what I mean? That's a bit of a confusion I have there, unless they have some sort of helicopter to drop forces off, but I guess we'll see how things go. But as you can see, there's a lot of silly little markers right here and whatnot. Based off of where Op4 is alleging that they spawn, I'd imagine Op4 has the advantage here with the fact that they're setting up a defense line to the south. We see a blue 4 marker here. Op4 has their AA marked in the back line. I don't see how Blue 4 can take those out within the first 35 minutes, so we're probably going to immediately have 3 points on the board for Op4. And then it's just Op4 playing defense on these ridges. They could forego the airfield at that point. But I think what we're going for here is, because this is 3 points, this is 3 points, this is 5 points, and then with those 3 additional AA pieces, that could be up to 8 points. It's an idea of they're intentionally trying to split Op4 to hold multiple zones. And then Blue 4 could very well just steamroll the entire thing. That also does mean, though, that Op4 could just send 2 paltry garrisons here and then focus on the airfield itself. That's such a weird call. Like, based off of the point divide. But we see that Op4, because this is a 120-player mission, they're probably just going to do, like, a massive battle line here instead. And then their far flank, they're just going to set up a defensive line here with Overwatch group to box in anything on that side. So I really don't know what Blue 4 is going to do here. Like, it would make sense to me if Blue 4 had, like, a helicopter to bypass all of the defensive lines and come around, and then, you know, probably drop off somewhere around Elise. Or on the northern end, just, you know, fly low, stay away from that anti-air. They could also land on the beaches down here and immediately send a strike team. But there's just a lot of weird potential calls with that. Alright. So, now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and cover all this. So Op4, we can see their main spawn is indeed in that area here. Blue 4 is all the way down here. I'm going to put my light on because I don't think the players have NVGs. But looking over at the players here, we definitely have a bunch of L1A1s here filling in Blue 4. I think those are actually technically fouls, but they're using fouls as a fill-in for an L1A1 because they're pretty much the same type of weapon platform. We have 2 Milan launchers in play, so clearly there are some more assets here that we did not see in everything. They're saying it'll brighten soon, fair. We have those transport vehicles that we saw earlier, and then we have those ATGM launchers, but otherwise it looks like it's mainly going to be L1A1s. I'm looking for, okay, so we got some Brens, or at least a modified version of it. We got some AT4s on the backs of some of the players here, those single-shot disposable. Some Lee Enfields with some scopes. I'm trying to see if there's any, alright, so we do have some 240 style platforms, GPMGs essentially. And that appears to be it. We'll probably see some rifle grenades on the Argentinian side because it looks like the guys here have some 203 launchers on some M16, so I think those are meant to be the paratrooper commandos. And otherwise, we got some smokes. But, I mean, that's pretty much it. How about the Argentinian side? We've got some transport trucks in play. They're going to have the wood-based FALs here. What is that? Looks like we have an auto rifle version of that with a deployable bipod. Trying to see what other types of weaponry we have, but yeah, that's basically the equivalent to the Bren gunners. We have some bazookas. We got some GPMGs of their own. And I wonder what their marksman rifle is. Maybe just a scoped FNFAL. But I'm actually not seeing any scoped weaponry at the moment. I'm just looking around. We actually have a good chunk of GPMG gunners on the OPFOR side. Definitely more on OPFOR than BLUFOR. We got that fuel truck right here. I wonder if the Milan is literally just to either intercept the trucks or just to use them against any hardened infantry positions. But yeah, I'm not seeing any scopes on the OPFOR side, so BLUFOR might get a nice marksmanship advantage with that weapon. I'm looking down the line here. I'd imagine that there has to be a rifle grenadier somewhere on this side as well, because otherwise it's literally just 3 different weapon platforms on the OPFOR side, which should be quite interesting, and the bazooka gunner, but I've only seen one of those so far. Alright, well, regardless, Fonz is going to be commanding BLUFOR, OPFOR is going to be commanded by Depso. And we just see this massive amount of players on both sides. Most are AI slots, though. Those will disappear in a bit. But beyond that, let's go ahead and look over at what we have on OPFOR. So we've got... Okay, so OPFOR also have a plane, but they're not going to use it. We just see AI slots instead. So that appears to be just a transport... Not a transport, it's a scouting plane. But OPFOR is just going to go for a total defense strategy instead. So we've got one ZU-23 here. Another ZU-23 here, and then the 35mm is tucked away over here. That's... It's a little more futuristic for a 35, but you know, we'll just agree to disagree there. So beyond that, I mean, BLUFOR, they've got some scoped Lee Enfields, they've got some Milan launchers. They've got, you know, a paratrooper group, but no plane to jump from. And then they've got these transport, like, modernized suburban vehicles. And then they've got a blowpipe launcher for AA. Oh, man. But this is infantry only. So, I guess the question becomes, how does BLUFOR bypass to get on the airfield to take those positions out in the first 35 minutes if OPFOR is just going to set up a solid defensive line here? I honestly think this is decisively in OPFOR's advantage, at least for the points. I think PvP-wise, BLUFOR have the advantage because of their weapon divide. The fact that we've got some GLs in play for BLUFOR, we have some scoped weapons on BLUFOR as well with those Lee Enfields. Given to the right people, they can definitely occur quite a few headshots. And you have to remember, there's no body armor. So just, you know, 1 or 2 shots from a 7.62x51 NATO round to the chest and you're done. But it's just the transport idea. Unless the paratroopers are going to be able to deploy at the mission start, like via script, I don't really see how BLUFOR can get past an Argentinian defensive line with this many forces in play. Because if the vehicles try to rush out, those GPMGs on OPFOR's side are just going to tear them apart. Like, I'm really struggling. Like, there has to be something where these guys are deploying or something. I don't see any paratrooper backpacks, though. The only way Blue 4 can get to the airfield is if they do a vehicle rush, but if Op 4 just blocks the road, like, I'm really struggling with this one. Oh, I know recently there's been some actual Falklands war maps coming out. And I get that, you know, Maladin in the middle of the map, it does have some decent, you know, rocky, hilly terrain that can really mimic the Falklands. So I see why he made that choice. But I also do agree with you that there might have been some better choices as well for the sake of this scenario. I'm going to go ahead and turn my light off because it is starting to get brighter. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't think it matters where you're fighting. I think if, you know, enough thought's given to the balance in the scenario, people will come and play it in droves. I mean, this has 120 people on it, so, you know, that's just me. It's not like they're fighting in the cities themselves. I see as, yeah, sure. All right, but we see that now they're just going to start sprinting because the round should have officially begun at the, yep, there we go. That's that. So Op 4, honestly, yeah, just infantry running over these positions, vehicles dropping off the guys over here, the rest walking to the other spots. I mean, my real question is, how is Blue 4 going to get forces in play on the airfield? Oh, I just realized it's thunderstorming outside. I'm going to be honest, Arma 3, I think, has the most realistic thunder and lightning sounds. And it sounds like it's raining right now. Yeah, it is, but I just looked outside. I thought I heard thunder in the game. I dismissed it, and I just looked outside, and no, it's actually raining. Oh my god, well, that sucks. I watered the garden today, but now I guess it's going to be extra watered. That's funny. But yeah, no, like, it just goes to show you, if you have any weather effects in Arma, the sounds are indistinguishable to real life, in my opinion. So we have a fuel truck heading up. I think that fuel truck was meant to come over to the scouting plane to refuel it, but no one took the pilots, so maybe Kremit's going to fuel it up and then take off with it? I don't know, actually. I do kind of like things like that, though, where you want to give one side a powerful asset for, you know, gunning or scouting or whatnot, but in order to prevent it from starting off and immediately being ready to go and potentially shifting the balance of the op all in favor of that asset, you have to do a little bit of triple R for it first to slow it down. I kind of like that call. It adds an extra bit of dynamicism, dynamics to the operation. Dynamicism, I'm not even sure if that's a word, but you know, it works out quite well. Y'all drove through a winery and broke one of your wheels. That's amazing. That's why roads exist. Yeah, at least they didn't crash into each other in Arma. That would have been a bit worse, right? But yeah, with Blue 4 running out on their own, and then we got 4 people running down this road instead, okay. OPFOR still deploying out far as well. We'll see if OPFOR can even set up their defensive lines in time here. Shortcut, shoot the tires, yeah, right? I don't know why, but I have a sudden urge to grab a beer. Chat, you think I should grab a beer? On an empty stomach? I might slur my words a little bit, but, yeah, that's outside thunder. I keep thinking it's in-game. It better be Guinness. I don't have any Guinness here. I've only got, Corona. Only one beer? Why not grab 8? Yeah, you're kind of right. Jiggle, join me with that. Jigsy, that's it. Yeah, F it, 1 second. It's literally right down. And of course, we don't miss much. OFCRA still driving to their far defensive line positions. Alright, right off the bat, I'm going to say I think Blue 4 should have been given a mortar. For an AO like this, especially if OFCRA has E-tools and can dig their own fortifications, I think the #1 tool you should give a player base if they're going to be assaulting positions that the enemy is potentially going to be able to set up a defensive line on is give Blue 4 a 60mm mortar. Because it's not going to be that powerful, and it's still going to do a big chunk of damage. And you also have to add the fact that OFCRA does have an HE nerfing mod. So unless that round literally hits you, like, square on top of the head, you're not going to die from it. Compared to regular base game where, you know, if that thing goes off within 10 meters of you and you're not protecting or covering yourself, you're dead. And that range, I think, is up to, like, 15 meters if it's an 81mm, and then, like, you know, 20 to 25 if, it's like a 105, you know? But we see OFCRA now trying to race to get to their defensive positions. Blue 4 racing to go uphill here. I have no idea where Blue 4's defensive positions are, but we can see that they're probably going to meet each other halfway on this side. Meanwhile, Blue 4 is running all their forces up here. And then we got some people running up the road, so this shows me they're probably going to ferry back, pick people up, and go forward. But I genuinely do not see how Blue 4 can hit these AA pieces in the 35-minute mark. That's just free points for OFCRA. If anything, the AA position should have been, like, on the front line, like, even further than the defensive positions. In little bunkers or whatnot for them to get hit, because I think the mission maker thought maybe they could just, like, drive around, but they've also set up minefields to prevent Blue 4 from just outright driving around here, so it's like, what? They're forcing Blue 4 into this central bottleneck. So I don't get why OFCRA have those things for free on the back line.
6 now.
Hi Wavu, thank you for all you do.
Hey, Sarek, thanks for the 27-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations, my friend. Hope you get a nice kick out of the scenario. Am I winning? I'm trying. Honestly, though, after every PvP operation, I think the only winner is me at that point. And you guys, too. We got to watch all the fun and entertainment. Now, just a bit of a warning, because this isn't in a dedicated spectator slot. This is me respawning to get into a different type of spectator interface. My camera work here, it's not going to be as rigid, but my scroll speed is very, very sub. Yeah, I can either go this fast, or this fast, you know? So Blue 4 walking everything on foot. We're probably going to see, yep, so that's the vehicle coming back to pick up the rest of those guys to ferry them in. There's a few different things we could see. Obviously, the first engagement's going to be right here. OFCRA could send forces around to try to encircle that group and open up a gap for these guys to bypass, or Blue 4 could defeat these smaller positions with their massive number advantage, but there's so many weird potentials here, to be honest. I think OFCRA is spread out a little thin on this position, so we're going to have to see some adjustments from these forces to try to bottleneck this massive amount of Blue 4 infantry in here. But, I mean, it's going to be a tough call. I think OFCRA definitely a little tough on this front line, but they also have those machine guns. So if they get them in good firing positions, they could just pick off anyone in the middle. Yeah, first, second, and fifth. Meanwhile, I'm used to a camera speed around 3 to 4 because that's what the other interface does. Yeah, so they're definitely looking on the top of that hill to see if there's anything skylining before they advance. If OFCRA catches this Blue 4 element advancing, though, I think that's what they want. So they could just gun a bunch of them down. Meanwhile, we have a group of 8 now driving up. I think they're going to go for control of this hill over here and try to use that as a staging point. I did just see a Blue 4 member, but I guess this guy missed it. We might see that guy, because he's got his binos out. So we definitely saw activity right here, so he knows contacts are in that position. That Blue 4 truck is dismounted on that side. The other one is now picking forces up here, as these elements are now starting to walk up on foot. Honestly, I think this first engagement's going to set the tone for the rest of the game. And normally you don't see that for OFCRA missions. Usually the first engagement has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the game. Like, an entire group will get ambushed and wiped, and Blue 4 or Op 4 will lose, like, 10 to 15 guys. But, when it comes to 60v60 for 120, there's quite a few times where that actually doesn't matter in the long run, because the rest of the 45 can then, have better communication, outmaneuver the remaining enemy force. But based off of where everything is, Op 4's really just going for a front line here, and I guess the risk is if these guys get into an elongated engagement and this group comes in and starts, putting pressure on this side, that's the entire Blue 4 force fighting half of Op 4. Number-wise, that should mean it's a Blue 4 victory, but it's really just going to come down to the PvP. Op 4, yes, are in better zones, but Blue 4 do have scoped weapons that could take the heads off of some of these units. But, Op 4 have the GPMGs positioned in defensive positions that could, easily gun down a good chunk of the infantry here. So it's all just going to be a matter of who has what where. And we need to see if these guys are going to open up. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be some flanking action from this force, or at least some enfilading fire, but they're about to have their own element to pin down in the front. And then you got this element all the way up here. So Op 4 could very well be spread a bit too thin, but with these flanking areas here, if Blue 4 try to maneuver on this one position, they've got other positions that can immediately fire on them. So could go either way. Yeah, cheers, Jigsy. There we go. Alright, so that is firing into this building with 3 guys in it. I don't think there was a glass window there. Yep, see, like I said, that button usually does a bit something different on my spectator interfaces. We got some illumination rounds going up. Now we got the GPMG starting to hit that spot, but illumination rounds going over this position. And I don't have tracers, alright. No tracers in this interface, that's a shame. So this group, they've got a Bren gunner, but not a lot going to be happening on that side. We do have... okay, that's only an AI, so that doesn't matter. But Maxic, he was someone in this building. He gets his head taken off. He was a medic on this window. Now you have another fortified engagement here. So this might very well just be an attrition fight, but at the same time, that's exactly what Op 4 wants. Because they have to stall out to basically score the points on these positions. Now you got Kremet and the plane flying above. Ooh, look at that. Op 4 has been given an order to move around as Blue 4 moving around this different side here. So that's going to create a potential gap for Blue 4 to then flank in. But it's going to purely be dependent on whether or not Blue 4 decide to engage that force or just let it bypass them so they can go forward and hit the back line and actually engage those positions. But we see that there's a massive amount of Blue 4 force. We got one over here. I think they're trying to watch if there's going to be any Op 4 flanking with their own transport trucks. But those are the paras, which are, you know, the guys with the 203 launchers. I can just tell from the tracers that those rounds are falling short. Landing around right here. These guys returning fire in kind. GLs were fired by the Blue 4 element, but it's short. Wiki Court's the second Blue 4 guy to be taken out. Meanwhile, looking at OPFOR's casualties, they've suffered none. So again, if OPFOR can just keep this plan going, they're golden. What I'm worried about is the gap that's going to be created right here, but at the same time, you still have a lot of OPFOR that can answer it. We got a second line of defense back there. But this group might get pincered and eliminated. But you just need this main defensive line to keep holding. Looks like OPFOR, they are getting hit a few times, though. So they're not completely infallible. I'm waiting to see a few OPFOR get dropped in the head. Oh, right, there's that dumbass. So technically there has been an OPFOR casualty, but we're not going to talk about that one. But this is the type of fight where, you know, a 60mm mortar would actually really benefit. Because they could start shelling those positions and causing a rout rather than any casualties, and then Blue 4 could gain ground. Instead, you're just going to have this massive stalemate right here. And it looks like OPFOR potentially spotted something up here and are now, instead of doing that flank, no, it's because their movement order is to actually go up on this position, but they're going to be outnumbered in a pretty nasty CQC fight, actually, with the para boys. Now you've got potentially some transport trucks that might be loaded up. OPFOR might commit more of their forces here and just hold that entire position. Blue 4 are potentially going to send this 4-man team on the flank to see if they can bypass out, but not sure it's going to work that well. Meanwhile, you have a transport truck being driven back here. They might try to pick people up and go up, but we'll see where that goes. No updates on any KIA as both sides are just blinking at each other's positions. Got a massive spray of bullets down here. I'm looking to see if there was any Blue 4 guys behind that spray. Doesn't look like it. However, we do have Gazag and Arakiru trying to gain some ground here. Ooh, that camera's tough to work with on that spot. But meanwhile, OPFOR slowly scaling the hill, starting to look right. And this Blue 4 element's now backing off. If they kept going, they would have caught OPFOR with their pants down over here, though. I think because Fawn's found a better way to route them around, maybe they'll go up that little hill instead, because there's not really a clear way through here. Ah, that's always fun. Maybe because Fawn spotted the infantrymen over here, and he wants to get his guys around to do a flank. It's really tough to say. But Mystic is about to find Fawns here. This is Blue 4 Command, by the way. He's worth 2 points being alive till the 75-minute mark. So Mystic is literally about to run into his antenna. Immediately shoots him. Fawns makes a run for it. Might be able to get out of dodge in time, but now both sides are aggro to each other. So OPFOR had the opportunity to pretty much prevent 2 points from being scored on Blue 4's board. And you better believe Fawns is now going to play defensive here. But if OPFOR could eliminate the attack commander, that would be huge on the start. Now it's really starting to brighten up. But again, we see these OPFOR positions holding. All OPFOR needs to do is hold. So VODS has greatly backed off here. I think OPFOR lost their opportunity to take him out. Because now the rest of Blue 4 starting to get on the high ground here. Then they're just going to look around and look down and try to see whatever they can pick off from the OPFOR starting to climb that hill instead. Meanwhile, looking back at this position, we see that Blue 4 trying to advance a few more people up through the smoke. Because that's all they can do at this point. OPFOR, meanwhile, have brought in some reinforcements, and they are covering the retreats. Or, excuse me, the rear position, but it looks like they're going to potentially go up and advance instead and create a bigger blocking force here at that side. Meanwhile, looking up here, we have OPFOR looking up, Blue 4 looking down. Still no KIAs for OPFOR. Blue 4 has a third KIA Daedalus on that front line position. So that's Killer J. He's looking around, I think plinking out whatever skyline's on this ridge here. Meanwhile, coming around, we have OPFOR also firing up. They're trying to get overdrive. He got hit once. We saw a little blood splatter there. He's returning fire. Here's some grenades being thrown around. But we do see OPFOR. They are trying to get around and potentially do some flanks. Blue 4 receiving some reinforcements, though. Not really looking good. That's going to greatly overwhelm the OPFOR players, but if they keep splitting off in these small teams and just trying to box this main force in, you have to remember, OPFOR just needs to run delaying actions. We are at the 30-minute mark, which means in another, what's 8 plus 5? 13 minutes, OPFOR is going to get the 3 points for the AA guns. You see that more Blue 4 have moved up to this building. They're trying to engage the infantry up here, but they're just holding. I think the number one issue we're going to run into for the OPFOR line here, and this is something we don't run into a lot, but I think it's going to be ammo. Yeah, the GPMGs, they'll, you know, have maybe 900 rounds to start with, but you're going to burn through that in a 20 to 30 minute firefight without any assistance. Still no new OPFOR casualties. And Blue 4, no new ones as well. We're still sitting on those 3 skulls. But yet we have another OPFOR line. I thought they were going to be watching the rear. They're not. They're instead going to advance up here. And we still have these OPFOR now trying to move around. Blue 4 getting that additional squad to come up as well. Jasper, I think he just took a shot at the fires lead here, Pingus. Finally, Killer J was part of that central garrison as the machine gunner for that middle group just went down, but OPFOR has reinforced that line where Blue 4 was trying to advance, and they're just stuck. You have an air asset, that would be this plane, flying in, pretty much trying to do some reconnaissance of the forces around here and also pull attention away. Twig, it looks like he got knocked out. We have Mickey there also knocked out. Guys are trying to get some shots on Oddball. Can't seem to make him connect. Gotta be careful when you're only exposing your head, because if that's the thing that gets hit and knocks you out, you're dead. Headshot almost always will kill you in this game. Twig, he wakes back up. He rolls down here in that little, I don't even know what to call that. He's staying put. Blue 4 setting up a decent defensive line to their south. Reinforcements still coming up. Could potentially outflank this OPFOR element here. Jasper trying to get Stratos here. Stratos open up first. Twig looking around. He doesn't really have a lot of room to maneuver, though, because Blue 4's plugged that gap. We see that Blue 4, they are mounting up from this position. They're going to try a vehicle charge. And no one might be looking at this angle. They might try to charge right up to that position and engage in CQC, and OFCRA is not paying attention to their left flank. And this position out here is in no position to cover from a vehicle charge. This could change the game. This could allow for this position to be taken, the rest of the force springboards up, and then bypasses these OFCRA positions because no one was watching the left. They hear the vehicle now, though. Paradise trying to adjust. If he's smart, he'll throw some grenades. Blue 4 responding with their own grenades. Paradise finally getting some out. We'll see where that one goes. It was too late. If he threw him earlier, he would have actually gotten most of that group down. And now this is going to be some nasty CQC. We need to see OFCRA pop some more grenades. They're not realizing they are critically being flanked right now. Now we're seeing some of these guys open up on the rear of Blue 4. But these GPMGs knocking people out. However, we do have Nubaz here firing and getting Kitness there. But whenever OFCRA try to poke their head over the hill, they're going to get taken out. Paradise gets killed. OFCRA need to send these reinforcements up to retake control of this hill. This is going to be some brutal CQC. And we see Cheeseburger getting blown off of that through the bullet's momentum. Nubaz now trying to come around. He's going to pop a fresh mag. Could get some decent stuff from this flank, but Barrows finds him and charges him, takes him out. Kevin running up, mag dumping Parthius on the rear. And this is brutal. Zixmi then gets him. Barrows gets taken out by Ivnomain. Zixmi watching the rear of that GPMG, trying to overwatch anyone that's trying to flank around. Blue 4 need to be charging up reinforcements from this pinned down position now that this position's suffering. I think they've sent up a few on this side, but they need to commit everything. Otherwise, they're going to lose it. Paradise trying to get a reload in as Demovar doesn't realize that he is being attacked from the rear. Spins around and somehow gets Paradise. OFCRA, though, it looks like they've mostly retaken this position. We still have a few Blue 4 stragglers on the side. And Demovar gets caught medicing only for the rock to eat him. At least it's trying to. Dan Wolf gets taken out by Zixmi's GPMG. Looking back at the other fight, looks like Blue 4 has actually started to pull forces away, but so has OFCRA. Now Blue 4 is committing this team up here. OFCRA haven't been able to fully regain the position yet. And that's going to make the numbers even once again. I'd say there's no longer an ammo issue, but at the same time, there's not much that can be done here. We got Blue 4 trying to maneuver forces around, maybe to scale that hilltop later, but for the casualties sustained, I don't think that was that cost-effective for Blue 4. Blue 4 definitely taking more skulls out from that engagement. However, Demovar just got Garfield. Gets some double taps. Pogo tries to get him. Zixmeek watching the flank. Callie, oh, I thought Callie was down. Demovar gets Pogo in CQC. Pool gets up and immediately gets knocked out by Zixmi. We got two heavy hitters here. Blue 4 reinforcements starting to come up. They might have actually just turned this game around. As we see Cuboid coming around the rear as well. More Blue 4 reinforcements also coming in. I think OFCRA just lost this position. Cuboid running up. Gonna get Paris in the back of the head. There goes Benares. Callie looks up, puts some shots on Cuboid. Cuboid doesn't notice. Cuboid going high. Callie runs out of ammo. Callie gets Cuboid. I think everyone up here other than Callie is knocked out. Demovar trying to pop a fresh mag. Callie tries to get him. He then ducks Zixmi's machine gun fire. Callie gets caught in a reload and taken out. All right, Blue 4 have successfully taken that central area here. We need to see OFCRA potentially do a pullback because Blue 4 took that, but at a very great cost to infantry manpower. But that bounce back there, that final leg of the fight, definitely helped turn it around. And I don't want to do a skull count just yet because we still have 3 guys uncon here, but I think that really turned it around. This entire team, the 12th Infantry Group, is down. The entirety of the 12th MG team is also down. Half of the reserves are dead. Whereas Blue 4, lost half of their para-rifle 4 group, a good chunk of Rifle 2 and then some straggled casualties in other places, but for the most part, Blue 4 went up on top there just because they were able to reinforce more. Big if here, Op 4 had lines and watched that vehicle go in and started hitting them, that would have changed the game quite a bit. However, that plane appears to be armed and actually got Thomas. I didn't realize that thing had a little bit of firepower on it, but that explains why Blue 4 does have a blowpipe launcher. Meanwhile, Blue 4 have the number advantage up here, and they're trying to repel Op 4, who are now digging into the low ground, but they're going to attempt to keep that mountain force pinned. Blue 4, though, they can reform this front line, flank that position, take it out, pull around or bypass these units and start going straight for the objectives. We're at the 30-minute marker for the round. They still have another 35 minutes to start getting the purple zones. We see a little bit of strafe from that plane up here, and it actually knocked Miku out. I thought he was out earlier, but he actually might have still been knocked out. Pingus is down right here as well. Nuadox trying to come around here. He has a pretty nice ambush set up, tries to get Oddball. He gets hit himself. He hits Oddball twice. They go at it again, and neither can land a killing blow on each other. Oddball throws a grenade up. Might have been too far, but that is enough to make Dowdox rout a little bit. Yeah, right, Bottle? Especially with all the newer TV that's coming out. Older TV back in the day was great, but nowadays not so much. Mystic comes up to the flank, finishes Dowdox off as Watswat gets him pinned. But otherwise, just a few wounded on that side for a Blue 4 KIA. That's not a bad trade. Otherwise, Overdrive finding Mikshu's body and starts doing medical. Op 4 doing a great job, though, of using a smaller force to pin down a force twice their size, hoping the rest of the line can hold, but it's not. Op 4 still has a pretty decent amount of defenders right here. They're going to have to end up pulling them back to hold that ridge on the rear. But beyond all of that, I don't know what Op 4 can really do here. The best they can do is reconsolidate their forces and hold the sites themselves. You're going to have, in 4 minutes, the points on the rear scored. At that point, all Op 4 needs to do is hold these two purple positions, and they've won. Another suicide charge that worked by the Mighty 19th. Yeah, only because Op 4 just ran out of manpower at that point, but that's what you got to do to break some of these lines here when you're not given artillery. So when you have a break in the line in any PvP event, when you only have, you know, iron sights and rifles only, it's really important to quickly reconsolidate and continue to press your advantage. However, it does take a bit to reorganize your guys to see who's still alive, what you can glean off of the dead bodies. Machine guns are going to be key, especially when you just assaulted a position that has a machine gun. But you also have to consider, you know, what are the forces, you know, next to you also doing, the friendlies and the enemies, and how are you going to contend with them. We already see Op 4 starting to route some of their forces back. We see an arrow drawn up to come here. We just saw a bazooka fire out even. Then we got another force out here that might have a line to back off as well, but they might try to now make a new defensive line on the purple zone to give Blue 4 some room. And then you got this force that's still pinned. If Op 4 tries to leave this area, they're going to die, because Blue 4 have the high ground, and I mean, if they just try to run, they're just going to get mowed down by Blue 4's machine gun. So Op 4 is pretty much pinned here, but again, it's a smaller force compared to a force that's 2 to 3 times their size. If this map is goose green, then I'm a Playboy model. Yeah, exactly. They're using Malden 2035. We've already had a few people come in and complain about that, but I don't control the event. I just commentate it. There is a real goose green map now out, though. There's been a few that were small, but recently I think a big one came out that actually does it really well. Okay, no, so Op 4, they do have some marksmen. It's in the form of a Springfield. Hold on, get the headshot. Get the headshot. Come on, make my day. This is what I was waiting for. Give it to someone competent like Twig King, and yeah, he'll be able to pull it out and get a headshot on somebody immediately. Oh my god. All we need are some scopes. We're going to come back and Twig's going to be on 3 or 4 kills. I'm calling it now. Alright, meanwhile, OPFOR are retreating from that ridge position as Blue 4 are advancing. You can see they're trying to follow this line to get to a new defensive line. The new line is going to pretty much be this side right here as HQ and a machine gun element take the hilltop on that area. We'll eventually probably see this OPFOR group also pull back. They're just waiting until I think the AA guns are cashed in to then go on that spot. But Blue 4 definitely have a manpower advantage at the moment. It's funny because we have a Blue 4 guy that's come all the way out to outflank some of OPFOR, but now he's getting mis-PID'd. We have the plane coming in to do another strafe. Cutting over that hill. Meanwhile, Blue 4 lead is still up, trying to evade the wrath of that plane. Back on this position, we're hearing some return fire here. I gotta wonder where Blue 4's marksmen are to engage these spots, but you can just see they're just using their machine guns to pin these positions down. Blue 4 also working on their wounded as well, looting the dead for more ammo, redistributing weaponry. This is where Blue 4 might actually lose it because they're spending too much time on the redistribution of gear and not enough time advancing. Because it's gonna take them at least another few minutes to reconsolidate. They might grab a vehicle and try a vehicle rush, but OPFOR, I mean, they've done a really good job of redefining their lines here. It's hard to say where thing is, but meanwhile, OPFOR, we still have them trying to pull away. Looks like Twig's given the marksman rifle to Crazy instead. And they're just going to keep that force pinned. But again, if OPFOR just keeps Blue 4 pinned for the next, 30 minutes, OPFOR have won by default. And we see now OPFOR is pulling these forces off of these positions to get on that ridge position so they can have forces on that side. Look at what Blue 4 is doing here. They're actually going to spend all of this time to get a 4-man team to swim around the minefield, and then I guess they're gonna have to swim around that minefield too to get into the final position. Crazy calls here, but OPFOR are opting to pull away from this area and are actually getting away with it. This low ground is going to be a bit difficult for them to maneuver on because Blue 4 are going to block it down with their machine guns, but maybe they're relying on that so Crazy can then get his scoped weapon out and actually pick off some heads. Hard slowly moving in. We see some grenades being thrown, and I think OPFOR were spotted there, and the plane is still harassing the infantry up here. And I think through that harassment, Blue 4's not locking these zones down. But we just saw that that one Blue 4 guy gets taken out by Twig King's small team here. And that is his second kill. So I'm curious what this OPFOR element's going to do here. They pulled back, they're taking this ridge. We see some movement on that far ridge. And then we got some Blue 4 kind of pathfinding around on this side, which could easily come up and start flanking. But it looks like, nope, they're going to continue to pull away. Some of these close Blue 4 might go, find themselves in a position to flank that group, but beyond that, Blue 4 have definitely lost the momentum here. Rest of OPFOR actually were able to pull away. They can now help reinforce this line. Blue 4 acting in 2 different, well, technically 3 different groups, but what are we going to see happen here? OPFOR, after these positions are taken, are going to mount up in their trucks and go into the airfield. These 4, even if they spend the next 30 minutes bypassing, getting into the airfield, won't be able to take out the massive amount of forces that come in. And Blue 4 has about 25 minutes to make a maneuver on these remaining 2 purple zones. We hear that these trucks are getting mounted up. They've already taken a little bit of damage, though, so we might see another vehicle charge. I mean, there has to be at this point. Because otherwise, Blue 4 does not have the time to maneuver on these zones. They might also try to bypass and head to the other zone. But you can see that, you know, OFCRA doesn't have a lot of infantry left. But we see that there's a Blue 4 suicide charge here. And OFCRA have 2 medium machine gunners trying to open up and stop it. I was waiting for that! He took 1 to the face after he took 1 to the gut. Oh my god. Eventually, it's going to get you. No ifs, ands, or buts. But now we got this truck driving up. They're going to find themselves... Hold on, Zixme has a machine gun if they spot... If they don't flip their damn vehicle. Oh, no, they turned around. Hit it. That was a miss. Shoot the shit out of it, guys. Here comes Zixme out with that gun. We got some grenades getting thrown. Those are smokes, though. There's the frags. That blows Zixme away, knocks Demovar out. Q-Boyd's the only one up. They missed the rocket, but hey, they got the grenade throw. Q-Boyd also uncon. Vehicle cooks off. And that group is down, and now Blue 4 does not have a way to really get to the purple zone in the next 20 to 25 minutes. I think it's GG. Because the only thing Blue 4 have remaining are to do suicidal smoke charges, and I already showed you why that's not a good idea. You got the machine guns now opening up, and the scary thing is the tracers are running out. And we just heard someone get actually hit by a shot there, that little zoom sound. So Blue 4 have no choice but to charge up like this, and they're just going to take attrition. You know, Zelenius, it makes me wonder if I were to move to Kick and do the PvP commentary streaming on Kick, because Kick is funded by casinos and shit, could we actually turn this into an actual money betting pool where I take 5%? That's what I'd want to do. See, but that's the thing. Yeah, you didn't know that? Oh, I thought that was old news. But no, like, so that would mean that, you know, the communities get a percentage. Kick would obviously get a percentage. Oh, that's the AA firing. No, that was AT firing at the infantry down there. But, you know, everyone would then get a small percentage. And then Kick would probably get, like, you know, a 5 or 10%, meaning the odds, after all of those cuts are taken out, then the odds would then be calculated. So you wouldn't exactly be able to double your money, but, you know, you'd get something. Well, Shark, it's either that or we keep running the pay for campaign. So I hope to see you later tonight for Pog's pay for campaign. Keep it funded so we can stay independent and not give you gambling addictions. Oh my god. I think Blue 4 have the manpower to completely dominate this AO, but opt for... OPFOR have the time on their side. We see some Milans being set up here. I would actually love to see them get a wire-guided shot in. Because that's the zoom in. I don't know why it goes in, out, and in. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on, Warkus. Yes! Oh, there we go. I've been waiting to see that, but yeah, this is what I was worried about. When OPFOR tries to run away, they're going to get knocked out by an ATGM. But again, setting up those positions is going to slow the entire group down, and all OPFOR needs to do is now play for time. And then, when we get to the 65-minute mark, which is technically going to be the 73-minute mark, so 20 more minutes, all OPFOR has to do is walk off, remount their vehicles, and then just drive to the airport, and then BLUFOR has to walk and run in. And you still got people up here. Wait, this is one of the marksmen. No kills. Again, this is a marksman's dream, or a machine gunner's dream, with all these people running in the open doing silly stuff. So yeah, I doubt either of these guys are going to wake up, because once you take an ATGM to the feet, it gives you quite a few wounds, funny enough. Did they just try to fire it at the plane? No, oh, they fired it all the way up here. And it actually got people. That's... That's funny. Knocked one out, killed another. But look at the amount of OPFOR we have on that ridge. I gotta wonder if they're gonna move forces around, because, gonna be honest, if BLUFOR actually rallies themselves and pushes in the next 20 minutes, they will, technically 18 now, but they will have the manpower to actually, you know, push this through. We got this team that successfully swam all the way around, but they're gonna have to do it again. Gonna spend probably another 5 to 10 moving up here, another 10 to 15 maneuvering around, and then it's another 5 to 10 walk to the airfield. And OPFOR, they've spread out all of their machine gunners here. So even with that firing, there isn't really that much of a loss of firepower, because we still have these other frontal positions here to pin down BLUFOR if they try to maneuver on that spot. OFCRA forces successfully retreated off the ridge after getting that ambush in. I wonder if they finessed Zixmi's GPMG. Yeah, they totally did. So that GPMG is now in OPFOR hands. And now we wait with bated breath. I just don't see... Sorry for the flash there. What do we have for time? We're at 56 minutes. The purple zones are cashing at the 65-minute mark, plus the 8 minutes of safe start. That would be the 73-minute mark. So we have 15 minutes till we get to that 73-minute mark. In that time, this force, I think, is going to successfully scale the ridge here, because we see that the defilade markers here, we're going to see them potentially come around and hit this from the north. That could very well cause OPFOR to lose this zone. We got forces now scaling down south. They're going to run into the hard points of OPFOR here, but we still have this massive OPFOR force. So how is that going to go? Let's say, on a generous scale, Blue 4 in the next 15 minutes are able to at least push OPFOR out of these positions. There's a fight for that center zone, but let's say they get the points for that area compared to here. That means that OPFOR will have the 3 points for the AA position, the 3 points for here, and then Blue 4 will get 3 points, which means it's whoever controls the AA position on the back line will win the fight. OPFOR still have their vehicles. They can immediately get in them and then drive over, but I guess a critical point we should look at is where are those vehicles located right now? Because it's, at this rate, going to just be a matter of who is able to get to that final zone in time. But based off of how we have points here, if OPFOR hold these 2 purple zones, it's GG. If Blue 4 are able to take one of them, it's just going to be a race to see who can get to the airfield first for those last minutes. And it's just going to be a fighting maneuver all the way. Blue 4 still have 2 transport trucks, though, so they could immediately race over to the airfield and take it. I don't see where OPFOR's transports are, though. And that's what's concerning me a little bit. So if OPFOR doesn't have those transports to go back, and they just get kind of stuck on the outside, it means for the sake of points and winning the round, they need to hold these 2 positions. Because if they don't, then Blue 4 can just bypass them, go to the airfield, hold that, and win as they ferry their forces over to that final zone. Which would mean the final point tally... Hold on, what's cooking off over here? Is that the plane? That's the plane. It finally got shot down. That would mean it's 6 to OPFOR, 8 to Blue 4. Not counting the 2-point bonus that, you know, with both commanders still being alive. Because I'm assuming both are going to stay alive till the 75-minute mark. It's unlikely that they're both going to get shot. OPFOR had an opportunity to get those extra 2 points. Missed the mark without realizing it, but they were very close to assassinating Fonz early on when you had OPFOR fighting Blue 4 on this mountain range right here. But Blue 4 not going to be able to get any advancing done right here. They need to rely on this squad bypassing around. And we also have these trucks driving around too, so they could pick up those other forces and continue that bypass. However, if they just completely bypassing over the airfield, then it's GG. They have to take one of the purple zones. The only other way I could see Blue 4 winning is because those guns, I think, are cashed in at the 65-minute mark, the AA guns. They could completely bypass everything, rush to the airfield, take out the AA guns before they're counted for points, and then hold the airfield, and that would deny the 3-point advantage. That would mean Blue 4 gets 8 points for that area, while OPFOR only gets the 6 from up here, and that would be still a Blue 4 victory. Another missile launch, and that goes right in the Settler's face. And Settler, I think, is dead. Oh, I love these noob tubes. Remember a decade ago when you would complain about some chucklefuck using a grenade launcher in Call of Duty? Yeah, imagine a chucklehead using an ATGM just to tow your face. And look who it is, the Reaper himself. God damn it, Sergeant Fluffers. He was here just to witness this man get absolutely eviscerated. Why is it whenever we see something really critical used, that damn bunny's around, just here to... He's not even on the ground, he's freaking floating. God. Crazy. Yeah, I think they're going for a bypass, because you see they're on foot over here. I think they're actually going to try to go for the airfield. Now, I could have sworn that the points for the AA guns were cashed out at the 35-minute mark, which is why I questioned. I think they might have extended it to the 65-minute mark, but that is in 11 minutes, and I think there is room for the vehicles to charge up and take those. But I'm surprised we're not seeing OFCRA reading the room here with nothing coming and taking this position. They're not, like, trying to cut this garrison in half and send reinforcements up. What are they doing? Are they dismounting? What? Ooh, that is not going to go in their favor if they're going to dismount and leave the vehicles and just walk instead. That means they've either got a kilometer to kilometer and a half walk to then attack from the north, or they're going to do a 3-click walk. Either way. We got a CQC fight right here. Let's see if Blue 4 can break through OFCRA. OFCRA trying to retreat as Blue 4 gets right behind him. NASA had a grenade to open up on that side that would have been a bit better. Instead, he announces his presence with that gun. Now the grenade goes out, but OFCRA's already pulling back. No one watching the retreat. Mr. White goes down. Blue 4 pulls away. Delta has no idea that his battle buddy just got shot to death. And he is about to join him. Never mind, he gets NASA. Can he get Rizbo? Rizbo goes down as well by Flip for Flap's machine gun. And that is Blue 4's small attack there. Repulse, Masano, and PHK trying to flank around the other side. That gives OFCRA time to regroup. Wombat also coming up the rear with that Bren. He throws a few grenades up. I'm not sure it'll be enough. It's smoke just to conceal his advance. Time check. We are at the technically 56-minute mark. No, there's no way the vehicles are out of fuel. Fuel in vehicles in Arma 3, it'll last you literally like 6 in-game hours. Like or no, not even in-game, IRL hours. Like it lasts you a long time. Even if your fuel tank goes red and you like hemorrhage out 3/4 of your fuel, that 25% will still like take you an hour. PHK and Masano get Rick Hunter there. Flip for Flap still trying to suppress as Wombat comes up. That's distracting OFCRA from the other two on the northern side. But even then, there's no additional OFCRA reinforcements that are close enough to assist on this spot. So what are the odds that these 3 OFCRA come in and are able to then take the entire ridge on their own? It's unlikely. PHK comes in, he gets a kill. And that's credited to the fact that both sides are technically using FNFALs, which literally sound the same. So it's impossible to do weapon gunshot ID. We hear more ATGMs firing in. Flip for Flap catches Masano and machine guns him to death. Jonathan trying to catch Wombat. Delta runs around. He's stuck bandaging. Flip for Flap trying to take cover here. He takes rifle fire, and PHK takes him out as Masano wakes up. And double tapping shots from Masano. Jonathan now trying to flank around, not realizing that his buddies might have just gotten taken out. Ash coming along the rear as that last member of that Blue 4 element. We see the vehicles are being mounted here. We see a line of OFCRA potentially coming in to plug the gap, but they're holding that position instead. Quick, get the managing. I know. Great at misspeaking, I know. Yeah, so these guys are now going to swim around the minefield here. I just don't know what Blue 4's plan is with these infantry here. Instead, they're just holding, and they're wasting valuable time. I'm locally muted, so I wouldn't be able to hear their shanties to the east, but I don't doubt it, because they're just kind of stuck here with no action. So who on OPFOR is still alive up here? It's Jonathan and Delta trying to look around, holding to the bushes. Jonathan sees BHK, gets the knockout on him. Masano looking in that direction. Jonathan trying to get some double tapping shots. Oh, that headshot rips through Jonathan's helmet. Delta now running up. Ash on his tail. Oh, Ash, that's a beautiful shot. Take it. Take it, Ash. Ash, please. Please, dude. Just hit him. Did Delta... Okay. Okay. You can just walk up and be funny. Fine. Why not? Double tapping shots didn't even hit him. Well, Ash is a medic, so he could bring PHK back up. No, he's back up on his own. Asano walking up. Literally double taps Jonathan as he wakes up. That's just unfortunate. One hour mark. I think these are cashed in 5 minutes. And even if OPFOR lost that position to the west, there's only 3 Blue 4 guys there that stand to hit this spot. So we'll see what officially gets checked in, but I think we're at an OPFOR victory here at this point. Oh yeah, perfect stabilization with the SSWT kits for the machine gunners to hit people as they run through the open. God damn. Now we have Blue 4 stealing some of OPFOR's transport trucks, which got left up here. All right, real quick, I'm gonna tab out. I need to look at what the point scoring is. Okay. Let me clarify. I thought it was 35 minutes for the AA guns, but no, it's a 35mm. So those guns can be destroyed at any time for 1 point each, 3 points total, and then the airfield is worth 5 points. So that means Blue 4 can completely bypass these positions here and get to the airfield with those vehicles, which would give them 8 points total. So me misreading that, thinking there was a time limit, I think Blue 4 won then. Because let's see, oh! Fonz got killed off in the open. And Depso's still alive, so that's going to be 2 extra points for OPFOR. As long as Depso doesn't die in the next 13 minutes, but... yeah, he's just going to stay kind of protected here instead. What does he have? Is that a regular? Yeah, okay. But even then, that means it's going to be 8 points to OPFOR. And at most, 8 points to Blue. They might be a tie game then. Huh. Because, all right, so let's just go through all the objectives here. So let's say, hypothetically here, Blue 4 uses their vehicles, goes to the airfield, takes it over, destroys all 3 AA guns. They get the airfield because OPFOR don't have the ability to run into the AO because they just lost both their Vics and Blue 4 took them. But OPFOR controls these zones because they're cashed in at the 65-minute mark, which is officially cashed in about 2 minutes. So that means common objective Goose Green Airfield at the end of the game. The red cap zone, that's worth 5 points. That's going to go to Blue 4. Blue 4 has 5 points. And then you have 3 points for the 2 purple cap zones, which are going to go to OPFOR, which is 6 points total for OPFOR. So Blue 4 has 5, OPFOR has 6. Blue 4's objective to destroy all 3 guns at the airfield is done because they have control of the airfield. So that's an additional 3 points. So OPFOR is at 8. Blue 4 is at... Blue 4 is at 8. The British are at 8. OPFOR, the Argentinians, are at 6. But OPFOR has their side leader alive, which bumps them up from 6 to 8 because that's worth 2 points because Blue 4's side leader is dead because he crossed in the open and got machine gunned down. So if Depso stays alive till the 75-minute mark, which is in about 11 minutes... So literally, if Blue 4 somehow killed Epso, they win. This is assuming Blue 4 goes to the airfield and takes it. But it could very well be a tie game at this rate. Huh? Sure. Give me 1 second. Let me put the camera somewhere interesting. So we got Blue 4 moving up on the hilltop on the back.
We're gonna turn on your camera.
No. I meant the in-game camera. I'm not gonna show us hugging. I have to put the balaclava on then. What do you mean take off the... We're not taking off anything. No, we're not. It's not that type of streaming site. So there's the 65-minute mark done, and that's both completed by the East. So in another 10 minutes, we will have basically the side leaders go in. So Depso now just needs to run. But I think Op4, you're going to just see a massive route to try to get to the airfield. What? What are you... No, stop it. Yes. Love you, honey. I'm going to get back to work, okay? Alright. So, Blue 4 could still pin some of these Op4 elements on the north here, but... Yeah, so this is weird. Why has Op4... No, why hasn't Blue 4 gone in their VIX and gone to the airfield instead? Here, I'm going to open up chat back now that we've done the point readout. But per gun is 1 point, and there's 3 guns total. So if Blue 4 were to just bypass and go for the airfield, they'd be fine, but instead they're going for the contact. And now you got all these Op4 guys pulling back. Like, there's no reason Blue 4 should be doing PvP right now. They should be just focusing on the objective here, but nope, they're focusing on the infantry instead. And that's going to allow time for Op4 to potentially move forces back to the airfield itself. And again, this 4-man garrison, I don't doubt, is going to be able to get around and potentially hit those AA guns on their own, but they're not going to be able to hold against a massive onslaught of Op4 coming back unless no Op4 attempt to come back. Yeah, Depso's just going to make a run for it. Yeah, but that makes no sense if they're trying to pin Op4 here, because they still need a force to go over, because they can't guarantee that the airfield's secure. They would still need to move a force in. And they had the means to do it as well, because they had their own transport, and they stole Op4's transport. Now, I am hearing bullet impacts up here in the sense of they're actually hitting players. It makes a very distinct sound. But even if they get this force pinned up here, that still leaves this force to walk in and on foot. And they saw the announcement that said that Op4 also had scored points by controlling this zone. So they know there's people here, so those people can just walk back to the air. The other weird thing is these guys are going over here to potentially plug a gap. And this is where a small Blue 4 contingent is. I'm just wondering where Blue 4 put their vehicles, because if they're around here, then Op4 can just take those and drive back to the airfield. I think there's a bit of a communication breakdown up here too, because Blue 4 is assaulting this position as Op4 is trying to move. Depso's definitely out of harm's way at this point. My game had a little lag spike there. Damn, more content, right? Sip throws a smoke grenade at Snodgepair there. Snodgepair can't seem to line up the shot. Another smoke grenade comes out on him. You can see that some Blue 4 are just now getting right on top of this hilltop as Op4 attempt to just pull away. So we got some Op4 now stuck on the ridge. We got some others still like looping around back here. I think that's an uncon, that's an uncon. And we got Gregory running around who's still up. Most of the blue 4 element on the northern side's been knocked out. We only have a handful of guys still up here. Snacho decided, yeah, I didn't get knocked out enough. I need to run back. 20-minute warning. In those 20 minutes, these teams are certainly going to get back. These guys are now making a break for getting to that position. These guys are almost landfall here, so it would take another 5 to 10 for them to get into the AA, which gives them 10 to 15 to start hitting the AA guns. And they've got no choice but to just mag dump them at that point. So I think this force here has resigned themselves to just holding this position to stop any additional blue 4 from coming in as his force goes to the airfield. And no blue 4 are grabbing their vehicles over here. Instead, they're running on... I don't get why they don't just run to grab the vehicle and try it. It's fine. Why are they swimming? Because they're special. Because they're special. Oddball, meanwhile, doing medical. Roderick's trying to keep him pinned. Watts gets knocked out and falls down. Oddball has no idea where he just got hit from, and Roderick's going to continue to follow him. Roderick caught reloading, switches to his handgun. Oddball switches to his handgun. And blows... I guess he just kicked Oddball so hard he flew away. Okay. Jesus Christ. Gregory finds Sancho and proceeds to blow his back out. Giggity. Oh, Twig woke back up after that missile, and now he's got the marksman rifle. You're using Acre 2 radios? Oh, God, no. Oh, actually... Nah, I actually welcome that. It's not big enough. I won't have to use anything complex. More complex than the 152. I won't have to use encryption. Acre, I love for PvP, but at the same time, there's so many things you can do with it, and it's such a pain. But, I mean, for a smaller group, I'm fine with that. If it was like a milsim of like, 30 to 40 person ops, I'd cry. But nah. Stillwater's more simplistic. Yeah, oh, I know, your radio can get blown up. So, like I said, Stillwater is going to get really interesting. I'm still going to be a loot gremlin, but we'll see how that goes. But that's for this Saturday, even if I make it to this Saturday, which I might not, because I'm hosting the game night. Alright. So now it's literally a race between... Wait, there were 4 people. One of them drowned. Or they... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Who drowned? How did you drown? What? Oh, no, he went into the minefield. He swam into the minefield and blew up. Imagine spending literally an hour walking around only to swim into a minefield and die to sea mines. That's wild, dude. Bro forgot sea mines existed. Alright. Quick check, Depso is still alive. His points will get cashed in 2 minutes. I honestly think OPFOR is going to be able to hold the airfield here. Blue 4 might be able to get a few of the AA guns before OPFOR's main force can arrive, but... Oh, hold on. Hold on. This might change. It's listed as an OPFOR vehicle, but there's 4 Blue 4 in there. They could grab some other ones and rush in and still get there before that infantry force gets in. Hold on. The game might change. Roderick gets a kill. We still have Twig up here. He is on con, though. That truck could very well grab a big chunk of infantry, bypass everyone running, and they could still take the airfield and take the guns out. This is literally just up to if Blue 4's remaining forces are somewhat competent. Or
Here's another thing, though. Blue 4 could see that Ural coming up and think, oh, that's an enemy vehicle. Let me engage it. And just blue on blue and knock the vehicle out. That's another major thing that could happen. So we see some Blue 4 trying to move up to that final machine gunner team. We just saw one Blue 4 guy get taken out, and then Rambo Bambo gets knocked out up here as well. So not everyone's dead. Here's another concern. You got this vehicle driving by. Op4 might think it's friendly. There's the points for the Op4 leader alive, by the way. So now we have only 15 minutes remaining in this AO. Five people running in, 3 people running on the side. Blue 4 are literally fighting for a tie game at this point. Yeah, he just saw and just knocked one of them out. Can the other side here respond to that truck driving? Yeah, they just need to get on the road and drive down to bypass. But one of them in there definitely got knocked on con. That might have been a bunch on the back. AT just fired. It was short, though. Imagine if that hit, though. Beautiful shot. Very close. Are they trying to take the fuel truck and drive it up to one of the AA guns? Here's the thing. Fuel trucks don't cook off. So the explosion from it isn't going to do anything, but they could use it as a transport to get right on top of the AA gun. Did they actually just knock out? Yep, one of the Blue 4 guys got knocked out. Other guy's now driving out here. Obsidian, no, because I am going to be out at... Oh, God. Yes. Yes. But he doesn't have a sight line on them. Oh well. I will not. If you want to see my schedule, type exclamation point schedule. I think I have everything set up here. Alright, you got Op4 trickling in what they can. It's just a matter of can Blue 4 knock out these AA guns. And then can those reinforcements in the truck pick up the other 2 and get the airfield secured in time? Because if at least one of those AA guns is still alive, Op4 win. Oh no, it's a gay furry wolf. How you doing, buddy? Well, I wanted to watch it happen, but Rambo found that one Op4 guy and literally spun his head 180 degrees. So you got a force pinned over here. These guys, I think, are pulling back to see if they can find one of those transport trucks they found. Yeah, so they're pulling into that truck. There is 17 minutes remaining. I think they could get into the airfield within those 17 minutes if they stuck to the roads. We could see Op4 lose out on the airfield, but as long as they hold one AA gun. GG. Pay for Pain is in 3 hours. Added a few small things to the menu, made some adjustments for the tiers that were done. I'm excited for it. We've also completely changed how the ops are going to go because Pog wanted to be more of an air assault type element, so that should be interesting to say the least. Well, he just got a kill on somebody up here. You gotta be careful not to break the guns, though. Newton sprints right into him, and he gets taken out. Pretty interesting looking 35mm, if I do say so myself. You're doing good, good to hear. I think Blue 4 lacks the ability to actually blow these guns up. Truck's now going to arrive on the northern side. Blue 4 have mounted up in this vehicle. That's another 6 people that can go in. Yeah, this team also moving in. It's literally going to be till the bitter end here. Yeah, they just swam in to immediately get gunned down. Crazy how that works. Because again, I think their goal was to get in here earlier, but because they had to do all that swimming, it slowed them down. Yeah, welcome to PvP, where sometimes the really big brain, silly decisions don't actually net you anything good. Artur tries to open up. Solek trying to run around here. Playing Rin around the Rosie with a fire team of OFCRA. Ashes, ashes. He falls dead. Lovely. Where'd my camera go? There we go. Did he just get in the AA gun? Yeah, come fight me. Yeah, ain't that a Giga Brain move and a half? You breach him, and he just pulls the trigger on that gun and turns you into Swiss cheese. Maybe grape jelly would be a better term for that. Actually, he got Vincenzo and Mario right there, so let me give him some credit. Truck deployed out here with 5 to walk in. We got 2 additionals walked in here. Marino wakes up. Vincenzo still knocked out. Blue 4 might actually have a number advantage on this airfield. But again, if they don't take out all 3 AA guns, it's not going to be worth it. But again, the best Blue 4 can do right now is to tie. And then the point at the point we have a tie, we just refund the prediction. It goes back to everyone. Let's see. 7.5 minutes remaining. This truck, if they stick to the MSR, it can barrel in and dismount. These infantry running a little under 2 clicks in 7.5 minutes, maybe if they triple time. Striker is down. Artur, can he get the last kill here on Newton? Newton, no hesitation with that gun. Oh, but he turns the corner. Artur tries to sprint up, and he gets him! Alright, 6 in the zone. OPFOR, meanwhile, have also 6, with 3 more coming in. Blue 4 have 2 more coming in. That truck's gonna change the game, though. That's, what, another 5 dudes? Another 6. I love how you still have people up here fighting on this little hilltop. At this point, this has nothing to do because neither of them are going to be, neither group is going to be able to get forces in from that side. I think at this point, it's up to Artur to see if we can tie the game up, but we still need to get these AA positions taken out. But it looks like he got knocked uncon from OPFOR pushing this position. Double tap shot. Yeah, fair enough, Obsidian. 5.5 minutes remaining. Truck's gonna get here in about 2 to 2.5. Does Blue 4 have AT to take out the guns? Otherwise, they're gonna have to resort to good old mag dumping. Artur wakes up and trades with Stryker. I think Stryker will win the wake-up war, but Stryker might have other injuries from earlier, too. Curie, I think, just got killed off, because I don't see him over here anymore. I think they're trying to use grenades. Yeah, shrapnel's not going to do a lot of damage to statics. Like giant turrets like this, nah, you're going to need something a little bigger. Or just to mag dump the shit out of it. No, they're gonna drive over here instead? No, you literally have like 4 minutes remaining. You have to drive into the AO. You're not even gonna make it. You chuckle fucks. Look at Gonzalez over here trying to now hold off against this force coming in. OFCRA, they don't have the manpower to take hold the airfield to get the points there. That's your teammate? Yeah. Yeah. At this point, it's a rush to the anti-aircraft guns to take them out. Why is Moore trying to use a... Is he out of rifle ammo? Well, that's not good. That means the Blue 4 here don't even have the ammo to mag dump the gun. So that gun's gonna stay up. It's OFCRA have won. GG. That AA gun is still alive. That AA gun is still alive. It's gonna be 3 points to OFCRA. That's gonna make the final total 11-5. No, 13-5. No, I can't do math now. 3, 6, 7, 8. No, yeah, no, 11-5. 11-5. All right, now you're in, but now you have 2.5 minutes to get to the AA guns. And that's the sad thing, too. They actually have the AT to do it. Why are you prone and... Okay. Oh, good little keyhole shot there by Gonzalez. Two minutes remaining. Marcus hiding on a dead body. Ooh, that's dirty, but that's what you gotta do. I'm calling it though. It's gonna be somewhere around 11-5. Might be down to 6-10. I don't see these two ZU guns going down unless we have Eric Liru here. Ooh, he's got a GPMG. He could mag dump the guns. But he'd have to literally run down here, mag dump both in the next less than a minute, and then we got to get an AT guy up to that gun. There's no way. Because I think a GPMG would actually be able to destroy the ZU-23 position. over. 10 seconds remaining. Grenade goes out and knocks them out. Oh my god. They even stole Twig Keen's marksman rifle. PHK on 4 kills with it now. There it is. I'm calling it. 5-11. Alright, that's an OFCRA victory. I have to go make eggplant parmesan because I promised Bloodwind. And, well, the eggplants are, one's overripe. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers. We'll be back in under 3 hours for the Pog Paper campaign.